Directors, nothing more exciting than when the director is on a TV show.
Yeah.
People have no idea what we do.
I directed seasons of The Office, and then people come and say, "Oh, so have you ever met Steve Carell?" I say, "Yeah, I think I've met him a couple of times." I'm in LA. It's the COVID hotspot of apparently of the world right now. Here it is. We made it. It's 100 episodes. Look, Buster put on a tie.
Hello, everyone. You may have noticed that I have changed the set because we are lucky enough to have the great director, mixologist, dancer, music savant, Paul Feig, with us today. And we are going to make a drink to start this out because it's a new year. And while things have been a little gloomy at times, we're gonna lift them up here. Thank you. There's my shot, and as you can see, I've assembled the bar out of a record crate. I am tethered. Paul, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Jeff. Dry January, what's that?
I agree with you. I've never heard of that, and I am never going to even attempt that. The message here is, and I think you say it so beautifully in this fine hardcover book, Cocktail
What?
Time.
What?
How did you get those? Is that it's important to note we drink in moderation. We like 4-ounce martinis, not 10-ounce martinis. We do this because we believe that dressing well, feeling well, listening to good music is part of the better part of life. Correct?
Amen to that. Yes, exactly. I mean, look, you can drink out of a red Solo cup if you want, but why would you? It's all about the pageantry and the fun of beautiful glassware and beautiful bottles, the experience. The booze is just sort of the icing on the cake, if you will.
There you go. And I brought a glass that I love. It's got a seal on it.
Oh, nice.
Maybe you can see that. Yeah. And
I
it's
do
iced
see
up,
that.
and it's pretty, can you, yeah. Right. Can you see it?
Oh, yeah. It's got a bit of a circus theme going there.
Yeah, it does. My lighting is, I'm not a director, as you know. So,
Thank God usually my lighting's the worst. So actually, I'm glad that you have outdone me on the poor lighting.
I have. This is a little Vincent Price meets Swinger.
Is this
hey,
a hostage video? Are you okay, Jeff?
I am okay. There's art behind me, for God's sakes.
Tug your ear if you're in danger. Thank you.
What I'd like to do is I'd like to make a drink to start out. I was thinking the appropriate drink here is the Squeaky Door
Yes.
because this, to me, is very well connected to why this exists, which is, as we all saw during this pandemic. I don't know if you remember that. You brought us great joy doing these quarantine hour shows, and the Squeaky Door. Tell us about that, because I know that it's a drink you invented, and it's very much
Yep.
connected to this.
Yeah, well, when we were doing our show, I do it. My bar is out in our guest house back in LA. I'm in New York right now, so I'm not my normal bar. But and my wife Lori, otherwise known as Tipsy Fant, because I'm drunk Funkle, so she's the Tipsy Fun Aunt. She would come in at the end of the show to test whatever drink we were having, and our door is super squeaky. It hasn't been oiled or anything, so it just makes this giant when it opens up. And so everybody got to know that was her coming in. And so people started saying, well, you should invent a drink called the Squeaky Door. And that's what I did. So this is the fruits of that labor.
Now, what I love about this book, beyond everything, because what you do is there's memoir in it. We learn things about you I had no idea, and sometimes slightly dark things. I'm gonna, to be honest. But we also learn about this life philosophy that you grew into, which I love. Every drink has a song connected to it. I have acquired this tape and I'm gonna this drink. I've got my boombox from when I was in 1983, and I'm gonna just start it, and then I'll turn it off because we don't want to burn too much time. Okay. Let's see.
Is that how you used to carry it around, Geoff, when you would?
I did, yeah.
Oh, good, excellent.
That's really, really where I'm going to. If
Bob
I ever
Seger.
get out of
Fell
here,
there.
that's what I'm gonna do.
All right. Whoa. Fast
Wait,
forward. It's a real
Geoff, we gotta
Thank you.
dance.
I'm not a good dancer, but you know what? I'm sure I could be a good dancer. So, all right, let's do this drink. So, first of all, I have everything here. I even spent $69, I'm not lying, to acquire a bottle of your very own gin, which is not available in the area I live in, but is available in many areas. What I enjoyed about reading about gin is I know nothing about liquor, alcohol, hard liquor, nothing. And what you explained very briefly is why gins, why there are variations in gin, which is tell us in 22 seconds.
Yeah, gin is basically at its core flavored vodka. And what you do is you have your still of ethanol and you have this thing called the basket. And into the basket go various botanicals like citrus peels and everything, cassia root, anything, black pepper, whatever you want. And so that's why every gin has a different flavor profile, because you can put whatever you want into the basket. Mine is definitely kind of citrus, floral, front note with a peppery black pepper back bite, if you will. Back bite, is that what they say? Sure, why not?
I think that's what the Beatles liked, the back bite. All right, so let's do this. I have the ice. I have this thing. So I think what I'm doing here, and do you want to lead me through this?
Yeah, I certainly will. So here we go. So there's a lot of ingredients in this drink. It's one of my more it's not complicated. It's just a lot of stuff in it. So the first thing you're going to use is crack open that ultra expensive bottle of gin you got there. And 1.5 ounces. It's not normally that expensive. If you find it in a store, it's about $39. So Geoff just had to be a
well, I'll tell you the purchase price I think on the website was $40, something like that. The mailing cost was about $26.
Oh, excellent. Okay, into your shaker. Here goes your gin. Now, here's your first kind of cocktail making tip. Don't put the ice into the shaker if possible first, because it can melt and it can water it down. You're okay, because it's an early afternoon drink. So
okay, all right.
I'm not going to judge you too harshly. All right.
I already screwed up, huh? All right.
Well, you know what? I'm the expert here now. It's funny, I'm the expert. I didn't know anything about cocktails a year ago. So here we go. So now we're going to put in 1/2 ounce of cherry hearing, which is a cherry liqueur. You can use whatever cherry liqueur you have. Luxardo makes a lovely one. So here, you're just going to put 1/2 ounce of that in. There we go. Into said shaker.
How important is it to be exact with your measurements?
I think it's important. You don't have to be like studying it like something hyper like under a microscope, but get in there. If you overdo it, it can get too sweet. It can get too alcoholic. Trust us. Trust our recipes. That's what I say.
Okay. All right. Next,
you got orange curacao. And you could use Grand Marnier. You could use Cointreau.
I got this
if you want.
one. It has a skull. This one has a skull on it.
Wow, where did you get deadly curacao?
Geoff, exactly.
Geoff is a rebel.
You notice, the CNN people, I don't want to mock them or anything, but they made that big deal about the fact they couldn't have anything like this. I mean, we didn't even hear from our boss. He's on a spaceship somewhere,
That's good. That's right. Well, I'm glad we can booze it up on the Washington Post dime. All right, here we go. The next thing we want is my favorite. Next to my gin bottle, this is my favorite bottle in all of liquordom. It's a beautiful Saint Germain, which is an elderflower liqueur. And I just bought this.
Mine is so lame compared to yours. See, mine, I was excited about it, but it's really not even remotely as cool.
Yeah, but it's cool though. It's you're branching out though. I like that you're not just going for the main sort of brand. Because everybody knows Saint Germain, but you gotta.
I chose easily the most expensive drink for me to build in my makeshift bar.
Geoff, all I'm going to tell you is because you want to make this drink, I've been walking around Manhattan for 2 days trying to gather all these ingredients up. So, and I love it. It's fantastic. But here's the one thing I wasn't able to get was I couldn't find cherry bitters, which you're supposed to use cherry bitters, which you have from Fee Brothers, I'm betting. I don't have it, so I'm going to do a variation on the drink that I invented and use orange bitters. All right.
Oh my gosh. All right.
No, so we'll see how this goes. This could be a disaster.
What do we do? How do we do that?
2 dashes. So 1 and 2, and I always put a little extra in. But yeah,
2 dashes. Okay.
Yeah, you don't want too much because then it will get too bitter. AKA, that's why it's called that. Okay, now this is gonna become labor intensive. All right, you got to put in a half a lemon's worth of juice. Lemon juice.
Got this thing
look
right
at
here.
you.
Yeah.
You did it already? Oh, nice.
And I cut the lemon in half. I've seen those tricks on those shows in the morning, and so I thought it would save a little time.
Oh, there. See, well, I didn't. So now you got to watch me squeeze it. Oh, there we go. Hey, look at you.
Ready?
All right. Yeah. Here we go. There goes a lemon. Ooh.
All right.
See, it's labor intensive. You got a good workout making this drink. All right. So now we got it. It's all in there. I'm gonna put some ice in my shaker. Look at. See how classy I am, Geoff. Look at.
Oh my gosh. I wish I had one of those.
I know. I'm telling you. Everybody's jealous of my top hat ice bucket. All right, there we go.
Paul, your parents. I mean, your parents did not drink a drop of alcohol in their lifetimes, right?
No, they were Christian Scientists, so it was very forbidden. So here I am making cocktails on national internet. So
I'm sure they they could see you now, right?
There you go. Now here's
the shake. The shake's important, right? The shake matters.
The shake is important. Now here's the thing. A lot of bartenders you will see will go, and they'll like shake it like they're trying to kill something. That's fine if you're trying to froth it up or make like a Ramos Fizz or something where you're trying to, create a frothy thing. But in general, it's a gentle rolling is all you need to do. As my friend Alexander
Cocktail, the film Cocktail with Tom Cruise. And a man dies, and the Beach Boys recorded that terrible song. But what is that a legitimate way? The showmanship or no?
Well, yeah, I mean, you can make it fun that way. It's not the best for the drink because, especially if you're getting a martini, I have a personal hatred of when they just shake the hell out of a martini because then it's all cloudy and it's filled with ice chips and all that. So gentle rolling is all you need. There we go.
All right.
Now it's open. Now we're going to strain this into our glass. Oh wait, actually, I gotta fill my glass with ice. Oh, I should have done this. Sorry, Geoff. I'm ruining the show.
Time is. The Republicans are voting in the House right now, and you're wasting our time with this ice. For Pete's sake.
I just saw McCarthy didn't get in. But I won't talk politics here. Let's just enjoy this drink.
Are you
Celebrate. Here we go. Now we're gonna pour this into our glass. Now you'll notice it won't fill your glass all the way up. And that's a good thing.
You're right. That's
because
good, though, right?
because you want the final thing to be, you're going to top it off with some club soda. I'm using Perrier because I'm fancy. Here we go. Now we're going to take that. And we're going to just give a little bit of fuzz on top of there. A little fuzz? No, not fuzz. Bubbles. There we go. Now just give it a little stir to get it all done. Are we finished yet?
Stirred it with?
We're not finished yet, Geoff.
Yeah. 2
things we're going to do. Now we're going to get our cocktail cherries. What do you got? You got Luxardos there? You got nice ones.
These are good, right? These are not full of chemicals.
Right. I hope not. If they're pink, then they are. But if they're red, then they're good. Oh, you're okay. All right. So now we're going to take this. And we're going to, where is it? Oh, here we go. Look, cocktail pick. Hold on. Classy.
Oh, I should have had that. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. And just gonna. Oh boy. This is the hardest part is spearing a cocktail cherry without. Oh God. Wait. I have to use my hands for this. Here we go. Oh, looks like a massacre now. Oh my God. Wait. Hold on. Geoff, I'm making all this over the sink. I'm literally making drinks over the sink. The way I used to eat in college. All right, here we go. So, okay, now you got your cocktail cherry on there. Hold on, final step, lemon twist.
Yeah, this thing I practiced it right before you got on. I'm a little nervous because if it's too thick, oops, I just ruined it. If it's too thick, it breaks, right?
Yeah. Well, the good thing is we're not going to do it. We're not going to actually do a twist. We're not going to express the twist over the top. This is merely kind of a decoration,
Is this
a garnish.
Okay? This look all right to you? Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
All right. Okay. I don't have that stick, so I mean, for me, this is. Should have
You
brought
just
the
drop it
stick.
in like a porpoise at SeaWorld.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah.
It's
All right.
all garnished, and now there we go.
Don't want the stick. Maybe I'll do that later.
Check that out. Exactly.
Cheers.
Cheers. my
Happy
friend.
2023, my
Cheers.
friend. Yeah.
You too. You too. We made it. We made it to 23.
And that's good.
Nice.
You know what? It's interesting. It's not as sweet as I was expecting it to be.
Exactly. Well, that's the great thing about like lemon juice. It's citrus in general in cocktails is it cuts the sweetness. So because there are a lot of kind of sweeter liqueurs in here, but that lemon juice just cuts it down, and then the club soda then evens out a little bit more even. So it's a very friendly drink. Yeah, because I don't like really sweet drinks, but a lot of people do. I mean, honestly, sweet drinks are very, very popular in general in the U.S. Yeah. There you go.
So I want to. So now that we have our drink, we really have to get down to it here because we don't have much time. I would like to do this for hours, but we can't.
You can't.
So, couple things I want to say. First of all, your films are phenomenal. I know they had the very serious opening, and they said that, but you know, many people will say Bridesmaids. I know that we had the heat on not long ago, and I was upstairs and I heard my son, who's 12, and my wife just cackling as they watch that. And my personal favorite is A Simple Favor. And the news here is that I have it on very good authority, which is other people wrote it already, that you will be making a sequel to this film. Am I correct?
That is looking to be the case. Yes, you know, and until we're actually rolling, it's never for sure. But yeah, we're looking pretty solid that we're going to be making it. Hopefully this fall. We'll be shooting it this fall. So yeah, there you go. More adventures of our
many
my two.
People have probably said this. I'm curious. I think of Knives Out, right? And I would like to see 100 of those, and I would like to see 100 A Simple Favors. Is there any way to actually make, this could be a series?
Yeah, actually it could, because what we're doing, I'm not going to tell you any of the details, but I do feel like by the end of this one, actually, my two heroes kind of find a way to keep this going in a way that I think could be really fun and could actually go on and on. So that's the hope, who knows?
So can you tell us the ending of the second film right now?
Yes. So here's what happens. Wait a minute. Oh, if only I wasn't drinking. Oh, he got me off guard.
Paul, the other thing that I think is interesting, there's this little anecdote inside the book where you talk about when you were trying to be a rebellious, obnoxious man, and you went into a really nice restaurant back in the 90s, 80s?
Actually late 80s, yeah.
So late 80s. And you went in there to just prove a point, and you went in with your baggy shorts, and you look like one of the detectives undercover in like Law and Order, right?
Exactly.
And to just show those people how idiotic they were, and yet we see you now, and you are one of the best dressed men in this part of the world, right? And tell me what changed and why it's important. This sartorial splendor is important to you.
Well, I mean, it's a numerous reasons. I mean, when I was a kid, actually, I was a big Groucho Marx fan and read this biography of him where they said in the biography, I should say, he never trusted a man who didn't dress well. And so I was like, oh, well, Groucho, you got to do that. So I kind of started getting into clothes then, and my mom got me like a subscription to GQ and all that stuff. And then from there, it just kind of ballooned because I grew up in the late 70s. I was in high school, and that was really the disco era. So people were actually kind of dressing up. And so I really embraced that. And then when I became, got to be a director, and a producer, I just decided I'm like in charge of the ship. I'm the captain of the ship, and I don't like if the captain of the ship gets on wearing sweatpants, I'm going to get off the ship. And so, it's my way of showing respect to the people I work with, but also I just think I look better in a suit and tie. If I was standing here in a t-shirt, and you would be horrified. Trust me, it's all about tailoring, sir. All about tailoring.
Um, what was so enjoyable during the quarantine hour show that you were doing is I found that at the beginning, I mean, it was a long time in the barn here,
Yeah.
and at the beginning it was sort of adorable. Oh, there's Elvis Costello sitting on his bed playing a song, or oh, look at that. This famous movie star is wearing a tank top. Great, but at a certain point, I actually wanted my heroes and my stars and the people to. Cary Grant wouldn't have done that, right? And I felt
No.
like I wanted to feel good again.
Yeah.
The same way I didn't want to have a 3-day-old beard and sweatpants, as you said. I wanted to try to feel better, and I feel like that was an important element of what you were doing there.
Oh, I mean, that was one of my goals was like let's present life like it's normal, even though everything was completely not normal. And one of the things I was stressed on the show is like, don't go through the day wearing the same clothes you slept in. If you're in your pajamas or sweats or whatever, and there's no demarcation of when the day began, when it ended. You feel terrible. I mean, I would just feel terrible, anytime well, fortunately I didn't do it, but if you just kind of never, I don't know, if you just didn't wake up and kind of start your day, keep some kind of a routine, that kept me sane. And also doing the show, that's one of the many reasons why I want to do the show. I wanted to raise money for first responders and COVID charities and all that, but also, to have purpose and to give other people something to hopefully look forward to. So that's why we were always at 5 o'clock every day, 100 days in a row, never took a break. We desperately needed routine. And so dressing up was part of it.
So, one thing that I think is clear to people who are appreciators of your work is, for some reason, you are really one of the great directors in directing great women. And we think of people like Anna Kendrick with Blake Lively, Kristen Wiig, and of course Melissa McCarthy. And I'd like to try. I'm sure you've been asked this a million times, so I apologize. But what is it that you think makes you connect with these great women, these great actresses who historically have not been treated quite the way they should be?
Well, I just find them funny. I think they're so talented and so funny. I love telling women's stories. I mean, I grew up my whole life watching stories of men, and it's fine. And some of my favorite movies are about, male heroes. But, I also knew so many women, both, in my personal life, just being friends with so many women over the course of my life. And then when I got to Hollywood, getting to know, famous comedians or comedic actresses or, just actors in general. And then seeing them having terrible roles, especially in comedy, where they were only in service of the male characters, and it just didn't kind of, link up with the women I knew and how funny they were and how talented they were, and so it just kind of worked out. I wanted to tell women's stories anyway, and then I could, create these opportunities for these three-dimensional female roles, and I just love it. I mean, I don't want to do anything else with my career. It's so much fun for me.
There was always this false idea. It was a cliche. It was a false idea that women aren't as funny as men, right? Because they didn't have the same models, But none of it
Right.
really makes much sense when you watch. I mean, someone like Kristen Wiig, for example. I think Kristen Wiig is famous. I know she's been in, what is that, Wonder Woman or whatever. But I
Right.
believe Kristen Wiig is one of the great underappreciated talents in the universe. Can we agree
Yeah.
on this?
100%. I mean, her DNA is just talent and hilarity. So yeah, she's great.
And
But
music and art.
all the women I work with are really amazing in that way. And yeah, it's just, I mean, this whole question of like, are women funny is so, every time I am promoting a movie, all my cast has to like deal with that from these, getting asked this question all the time. And it's such a non-starter because it's only because maybe they haven't been given the opportunity to be funny, or men just have this some issue. There are guys who have an issue with it. Not all guys, clearly, but there's enough guys. When you make a movie, when I made my Ghostbusters movie, clearly, that blew up a lot of dudes out there. So, but it's just it's lizard brain thinking, and hopefully we're pushing past it. But it still comes up.
Do you so Ghostbusters, you brought it up, which is a film that was very unfairly savaged by some people. I don't know who, but people somewhere. And I'm wondering, is there a chance of that film being revived in some way? Will you ever get a crack at that film again? Do you regret at all what occurred in that situation? I mean, I watched that film and thought it was very funny and very well done.
Hey, no, I love the movie. I love my cast, and I had a great time doing it. I truly doubt there's going to be another one, of those, which I find very sad personally, just because I think it was such a funny team and they were so great. But yeah, no, I mean now they're on. Jason Reitman did his movie, which was continuing the first two films called Afterlife, and he did a great job. And now they're making another one, so I think it's fine. It'd be nice if our Ghostbusters showed up in some way. I mean, now with all this time travel and portals that go on in movies all the time, it could work. But that's not for me to decide anymore. I did my time in the Ghostbusters universe. I had a great time at it. I'm very proud of the film. I would do it again if given the opportunity. But no, I think I'm leaving it to the next generation.
Paul, you said something you wrote in this book, which I found very interesting, just because we don't really know each other, although I feel like I know you. But you wrote this section where you talked about sometimes being depressed and sometimes walking across London. And I'd love to understand, first of all, why did you decide to put that in a book? And two, tell me how that relates to the idea of this book and the celebration of drinks and dressing up and having friends over.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess I put it in because I was just trying to find stories that kind of related to each drink, and then the drink it was for, I think it was for the Fine and Dandy, I believe it was. No, it was the Gloom Lifter, and so I was just, I've had problems with depression in the past, like a lot of people do, nothing clinical, but it would get me a lot, and I'd read something in a paper once that Charles Dickens kind of suffered from this, and he would solve it by just walking from one side of London to the other. And that's, years ago I read that, and I started walking every day. I do a 4-mile walk every morning, and it just helps me. And when I start to feel anything, I'll just walk around. That's why I love being in New York, obviously, because it's so great for walking around that way. And same thing with London. LA, you could usually get in your car and drive somewhere where you can walk. But no, I want this book to. Look, there's a million cocktail books out there, and I'm clearly not a cocktail, expert. I like what I like, but I wanted to make it fun again, because a lot of cocktail books, and I collect them, they're great. They're very technical. They're very intimidating. You need a ton of gear and all this stuff to kind of do a lot of the fancy drinks in it. And I just want to make cocktails fun again, because again, it's not so much about the cocktail, it's about what the cocktail represents, which is this sort of adult, grown-up, fun part of your life. Being an adult is a lot of work, and a lot of it's not fun, obviously. So we need to embrace these kind of fun times that we can have as adults and not try to be teenagers. That's why I see so many guys like my age, I'm 60 now, but any guy who gets into his 30s, 40s, 50s, for a long time is this thing of like, they wanted to be teenagers and not age. And I go like, it's so much fun to be an adult, or it can be. So take advantage of those fun adult times and do it the right way.
I love my father, has been he loves a glass of wine, and he takes the wine and he pours it into the glass, and you reference this wonderful scene in The Office in that you directed, where Dwight pours it into the glass. He pours it to the tip of that glass, and it's like you can barely walk it back without worrying about whether it's gonna spill or not. Kind of like I have my coffee. And I love that there's a diagram in your book showing us exactly what each level should be. This is too low, this is just right, and this is too high. Paul, look, this really cheered me up. I enjoyed reading it. And I just like if on a simple favor too, if you need a corpse or a like a seedy reporter or Marvin Hagler, just look, I'm here and I'll go anywhere and I'll just close my eyes and play dead. But what an honor to talk with you and experience this, and really good luck with the book.
Oh, thank you, Geoff. You're the best, and you've always been so supportive of me, and I appreciate it. And everything you do is great. So thank you, sir.
All right, I can now disassemble the bar, folks, and leave my my hostage area. And Paul, thank you so much, folks. As you know, you can go on Washington Post Live, and these are we're going to be have a full program. This is our first one of the new year, but we have a full program coming. And anytime you want to come over to the bar, I'm here. Okay. Have a great day.